We are discontented through comparison. We are discontented to bring about a change in what is. And we are discontented because we don't know what to do with what is. And being discontented with what is, we develop the idea of what should be, the ideal, the utopia, the gods, the heaven, and so on and on and on. So our action then is based on an idea, and the approximation to that idea is action. Then I am discontented with what is, and I want to be something different from what is. The idea being rational or irrational thought put together as an idea or an ideal, and I have that ideal, and that according to that ideal I live, which is called action. And there is conflict between what is and what should be. And in that conflict we are caught. And all our questions, demands, searching is that. Between what is and what should be. And the greater the tension between what is and what should be, the greater the neurosis. And also greater if one has the capacity to express that conflict verbally. In the theater, in music, in art, in so many ways, literature and so on. And being discontent with what is, we invent gods, which becomes our religion. That is the escape we have from what is. And is it possible to radically change what is? That is the real search, not the other. The other is not such at all. Is it possible to totally bring about a mutation in what is? And to go into that, to go into this question of bringing about a total revolution in what is, one must have an extraordinary sense of awareness. You know, to be aware what it means. To be aware of the trees, of the blue sky through the trees, of those hills beyond, of that noise of a motor, of the colors that are there in front. Just to be aware. And to be aware so choicelessly, you know very well that you can't change it. You can't change the mountains. You can't change the beauty of that sky. But when we are aware of what is, we want to transform it. We are endlessly active about it. And there begins sorrow. Because with the ending of sorrow is the beginning of wisdom. And the ending of sorrow is the understanding of what is. And the understanding of what is can only come when you observe, when you are aware, when the mind is incapable of wanting to change what is, which doesn't mean it is satisfied with what is. So, one has freed the mind, or the mind has freed itself from this everlasting search. That's finished. And that means a tremendous burden of one's shoulder. Being free, you can look. And to look, you need great energy. And that energy comes only when there is this awareness without conflict. This awareness in which there is no conflict of any kind. Just observation. And there will be conflict only as long as there is the observer and the observed, which is what is. But what is the observer. Please don't learn phrases, but see the actual fact. Then you will find that where there is the observer, the center, the sensor, the experiencer, the entity that is always creating the division between the observed and the observer. And as long as there is an observer, there is no freedom.